Yeah. So this is one of the most interesting ones, in my opinion, because this talks about my journey, in digital marketing. I mean, we're recording these. I'm a digital strategist, and they are working on very serious campaigns. But I feel that not take it. I need to take it like from way back as to how do I then end up in agencies and stuff. I remember my first journey probably into digital started when I was or foundations into being a creative and realization of that. I think it was grade four when one of no, not four, six, standard four, grade six, yeah. One of our teachers said, we're going to have a story writing perspective, or maybe even the revert of that. So we listened to a lot of these radio stories as a family when we grew up, and radio. I mean, I grew up in a rural area, so radio was that means, and also it was like Tobela FM, so you had to listen to story. So at around, I think it was almost 8 or 9, somewhere there, and uh, but also like that being the medium that we sort of consumed much made me almost just be curious and inquisitive. So we then, when this teacher, I think it was Mr. Lichiko or something, mentioned that no, we're going to have a story writing competition. And then I started, jotting down and saying, this is how I could write or something. Didn't know what I was doing at the time. And then that thing failed. Then I felt like, no, maybe I can write like these stories on radio. And then I think I wrote, I remember my dad also, like, trying to help me in terms of getting a deal in the writing of those stories. And then we found that one needed to attend a workshop. And the first time where I had an opportunity to attend a workshop, it was on a school day. And yeah, I think I remember my mom feeling like, nah, dude, you can't miss school to go do that, because she just wasn't taking it serious, and then, yeah, I left it there. But that had a build up in terms of me then saying, oh, okay, at school, I think grade 11, we tried to start a high school student magazine. That didn't work out, but it was going to be printed. And then when I went to varsity first year, second year, then I had some bit of time because I needed to repeat one of my modules. And then that, there was some program advice that no, if you filled one module or more, then yeah, I don't know. They were said from the township or whatnot. We needed to cut more your modules. So in our like second year, first year, we then I had to do less subject. And I think second semester of which was 2010, that meant I was going to do 3 modules. So then I thought, here's a chance. And then we founded a student magazine with 2 mates of mine, got students from different varsities to write. And then when we had to market it, that became an opportunity for me to, I mean, it said on me to market it, but that also became an opportunity for me to now learn digital. And yeah, so, I remember we started with Facebook and Twitter. I just hadn't cracked it as much yet, and I don't know if it was 2011 or 12. Must be 11. We went to an interview at UJFM, and I was with one of the team members called Brian, who dealt with marketing and was at UJ, and we having this conversation, and he's like, I think the station manager or whoever, I don't know if we were on air or whatever. And then she's like, yeah, I see your Twitter numbers are low, but your Facebook is high. And that for me became that moment where I was like, no man, I think I had a strategy for Twitter. We started having that strategy, and we sort of were able to bring our following even to be much higher. But that for me was the first time where it just dawned on me that this could actually be a career. And then at Honest, no, and then Instagram came. We found a way to work on that, and then in my Honest year, I think the transition from third year to Honest, that's when I decided, you know what, I'm never gonna be a town planner. I think I have to work in marketing, but I lacked the theoretical element. And I mean, being in an academic institution, I think I could have just left and went and learned these things. And but also, I was trying to get an internship and things like that, but could not, because they just looked at and they were like, nah, you don't have a degree in English communications or whatever. And then that's when I thought I maybe need to go to business school and do, I think at the time it was called a PDM. But yeah, it just felt like, oh no, if I'm gonna spend money doing that, I might as well just do an MBA. I took that and then did an MBA. Yeah, did my honors in town planning so that I can get at least an entrance into MBA, be it the following year or later. Didn't happen the following year because I didn't write the test, and then I went and wrote the test. Became one of those that were selected. I remember, one of the youngest in the class, and uh, those type of thing. But my thing when I got there was that I'm here to learn the theory, academic part of marketing. Learn that, and then there just became that feeling that I think I still needed to like really really learn even more, because now it was a emergence. Let's say Snapchat had just emerged at the time. The digital was now just like full on blowing around about 2015-16. And also luckily 2016 was when I went and did my exchange at the University of Latvia, and boom, it was the first time where I literally had access to fast internet. And yeah, so that just meant I would sit on YouTube and watch whatever that I wished I had watched and learned. And I remember it was the first time even meeting and seeing live guys like Seth Godin, guys like Gary V. In fact, when I watched Seth Godin for the first time, I went on and watched almost all any other long video of his, and then I came back to South Africa, finished my research, and then yeah, did the things in 2017. But 2018, then that's when I was like really really introduced into the digital agency vibe, because now it was no more like startup hustles and things like that, and now started working on like big brands. I became a community manager for a big telco at a big agency. Went on to like a small agency, and now like started to work on different brands, and started to almost even be that guy who decided and determined what is posted on those, how much money was put on. And that became a big thing, because now when I got introduced to paid media, that made me now spend a lot of money on Instagram or Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And but still it just felt like I hadn't done a lot of PPC, pay per click. And I mean, that's literally learning how to advertise on Google. And went on and did that, and started now attracting even like, although years would work and on those brands, but now started even attract, especially with LinkedIn and paid advertising, and PPC that now meant that I have like a niche capability. Now started attracting even international freelance opportunities. But it also still felt in the industry that the guys who were doing strategy and the guys who were doing like account management, because they were not almost on the ground, that it's what you do as you move on and become on a senior type of level. And yeah, when an opportunity became available after I did a lot of SEO and PPC and all that, I then worked at an agency now, which is where I am as a digital strategist. So would be able to work on different big brands and government departments in terms of formulating certain strategies. So that's what I'm sort of now learning. But and also because previously I had done a lot of data issues, because I feel and I believe that data is important, in that you also still need to have that element of understanding what you've spent on, how to optimize it, and things like that. So yeah, from that kid go askukune listening to the radio made me end up as a digital strategy agency. And yeah, you never know what next journey holds for me, but that has just been that kind of complex journey of the town planner who ended up in digital marketing. Cheers, see you in the next video.